Hi and welcome back to the channel at VAG Technic Garage, and we are back on YouTube. I do apologize, but the garage was closed. It was closed for a very good reason. It was closed for a bit of a time, to be honest. Since then, quite things have changed, I would say. We start fixing caravans at the moment, as you can tell. Best business, no engine, all you have to do is just tires and that's it. On the other side, you can see we have some cars here, unfortunately, what need doing. We have quite a few interesting cars actually, meanwhile, and meanwhile I mean in last 6 months. But mostly what happened and what changed is inside the workshop. So we've been shut for basically over 2 months for a very good reason. And the very good reason is we've been working on the workshop. So as you can tell, we have a new flooring. We paint some walls, we paint some more walls, and some more walls are painted. But mainly the reason why we were closed was the floor. Also, we did clear up, as you can tell. There is a very professional cleaning place at the moment. Drainage is sorted, which is connected to the original drainage, which is outside. And we've been working on it, just me and Miroslav, and Juraj came down to help us a bit. The main problem was the demolition work and basically get the drainage fitted, and also the biggest problem what we had here was this section. So if you remember for all the videos, basically this section, which is the mechanical section, was done with an epoxy floor. We've done the flooring ourselves because, you know, we are the richest, poor mechanics, and also this is not our garage, we are renting it. Anyways, shout out to the owner that he helped us on this with the ceiling and some other stuff. But yeah, the main issue why we have to stop and why we have to close down was the floor, which was where the ramps are, where we do most of the work, where all the bolts, heads, tools and everything was falling on it. And soon as something fell down on the floor, it's just make a chip. When a bit of oil get in there or some grease, it just start cracking and it was peeling all off. We spent probably a bit of a time to move everything out of the way, which was in that section. We have to peel off all the epoxy floor, which was in this section. So there was quite loads of debris and I don't know, whatever. And we have to make it straight because the concrete underneath it wasn't really straight. We just fill up the gaps what was necessary to fill up. And most of the concrete went into that section over there, from the beginning of the shutter to like the middle of it, because there was quite a big difference between the height from the entrance to the middle, and lowered cars is like quite big problem to actually get in there. Also, because that's the highest point and this is lower point, probably something about 40 centimeters difference when you're gonna put it in level. So when it was raining heavily and that drain was just not really taking all the rain off to the canals, it was all getting into the workshop. So that's why we also have the drainage over here. In case it's raining heavily, all the rainwater is getting till that point and it sort out the problem. We also clear up all the rubbish from this section, what you've probably never seen before. There was quite lots of things what we will never use again, so whoever was picking up all the scrap metal from us has to be a millionaire right now. So at the moment, it's still not finished. We used to have all the drawers and tables where you're seeing back there used to be over there. Reason again why we move it, because as you can probably tell, again, it's just a rubbish collection on it. We still have to clean up whatever is not necessary to have over there and try to make it clean and try to put something what's actually needed in those drawers. But this will be like an engine room when we're gonna do like engine build. Again, we have like old office tables. We do wanna put some nice metal tables with some shelves and stuff on silicone wheels to have it nice. But at the moment, because to be honest, we spent quite a lot of money on the flooring, it's just out of budget. But one day we'll get there. So far, they will have to do. So they are retired office tables, and they are doing even harder job after retirement than it used to do while it was an office table. So in the good old times, there used to be a computer on top, and right now it's hanging quite heavy engine. We did make them a bit stronger, otherwise they're just gonna break and fall into pieces. We are in the engine section, which we have all the engines, mostly from S4s, and there's an RS5 engine. And this room or this part of the workshop was the hottest during the summer and the coldest during the winter. Reason why: the wall wasn't insulated both sides, so basically it was quite bad. That's why we have the mine shut down as much as possible. And then we just done a decoration. As you can tell, the whole workshop was basically black, which we thought was a good idea at the time, but not the smartest idea. Reason why: the lights are doing quite well. They are creating loads of light, which is cool. But on the other hand, if the walls are black, it's not reflecting any light. So if we were working on that section and we were underneath the car, you couldn't really see well what's going on. So we've done that bit white, unleashed the bit, and then like half of the room black and white. Decoration Audi Sport, which doesn't make too much sense because all the cars are coming here with dead engines, jump timing, so they're not really sport cars anymore. But it looks cool, it looks cool. The main feature in this room or part of the workshop is tribute to Mr. Ken Block, who unfortunately passed away. And he was a huge inspiration for me and Miroslav, especially what he achieved in the motor or rally industry or car industry. And he motivates us to actually do something extra. And even if things doesn't go as planned, well, that's the life, we gotta move on. So we put Hoonigan Ken Block 43 ever on the wall as a tribute to Mr. Ken Block. Anyways, we can move to another section, what wasn't used too much. So all our scrap projects, which used to be in that room where all the engines now, have moved over here, and everything what was in those shelvings with all the other scrap stuff is finally put it somehow so it makes more sense. And yeah, this is probably, let's call it the project section. We have our S5 here, which is on the air suspension. We bought another S4 convertible, so that will be another project. We have our wide body S4 down there, customer car, finishing off some small bits and bobs. And yeah, pretty much the workshop have changed a bit. I'm very happy that we managed to do it only in 2 months. And as I said, we've done everything ourselves. So that's why it took long, but if you have to call a company, it will be out of budget. So it was a bit of a compromise, like we will be closed with no income and do the whole workshop at once, because if we will be doing it bit by bit, I know all the edges will get damaged and it's a problem to fit it and so on and so on and so on. But at least we can tell you, or I can tell you, after we've been using the floor for a couple of months now, it is a good floor, but also it has some small issues. I mean, this was the cheapest on the market, and I think the thickness of it is 12 millimeters, if I'm right. And the fitting went all right. It wasn't that bad. We basically start from the middle, and as soon as we get to the edges and corners and everywhere, it was a bit of a more hard work to actually cut it exactly where it should fit on the edges and corners. But the problem what we're having now is because we taking engines out, as you can tell, and engines out, and everywhere are engines, and we have these trolleys for the engines. The wheels are quite big, but they're not soft, and I think if we don't want to damage the floor, we have to have like different wheels on the trolleys and everything, because soon as the engine, it's a quite heavy thing with the gearbox and everything, it's probably up to 500 kilos, I reckon, the whole thing. So as soon as it's standing on one place and there's nothing underneath it, like you can see the trolley have something underneath it, so it's not making any markings, and it's like hard rubber, it will create something like, let me show you, it will create something like this. So you can see something was pushed through it. But the good thing is, in case you have any kind of a damage, you can just unclip it and replace the bit which is damaged. So I think we will be doing it probably quite often, especially in this mechanical section where all the stuff is happening. Other than that, it's quite easily maintained clean. We also have a machine for it, so we're using like the grease soaps and stuff, so it's quite good. But if you're planning to do flooring like what we did, make sure it's fully leveled, If you see it on the video, it looks pretty much level, but wherever is a small hump or wherever is something was not exactly level as it should be, the flooring is copying it, and sometimes like the edge can stick out a bit, but that's pretty much what it does. It will go with the surface which is underneath, so it's not a huge problem anyways. I do really like how the whole workshop finally looks like. It's all even, so we don't have a red floor and epoxy floor, I don't know, whatever. So it is cool. And pretty much in the last 6 months we've done quite a lot of work, and there's still loads of work waiting, as you can tell. Too many cars. So I did film everything what was going on, as I did film everything what we've done to the workshop, and there's still things what actually need sorting, but I decide to start posting the videos even from the last couple of months. So I will be putting a few videos, like at least 2 or 3 a week. Also, what's new? We have new trolleys, and I must say I'm quite happy with them. So the trolley, yeah, is not a snap-on. Again, poor people, what can you do? This was like a budget trolley, let's call it. And the good thing is you can plug it onto the electric. You can charge your batteries, your phone, torch, whatever. And the drawers are quite big to store basically everything what we need. So we don't really want to spend too much money on snap-on tools. Anyways, quite disappointed with snap-on. We did ask for a price up and they just basically ignore us. So even if you want to get a snap-on, you just got to be probably ignored because it's too much work to price it all up. But that's how things work. That's all the information about the workshop, everyone. And I'm really hoping in the next video we will be working on some vehicles, probably most likely Audis, Volkswagens, you never know. But we've been quite busy. Also, the other good news is we will have someone who will be helping us with all this crazy work what we've got here. And I just can't wait till Mr. Dave will start in 2 weeks, 3 weeks time. So that will be a big help to me and Miroslav, because we can do more things, more interesting things, and also we would like to move on with our project cars finally, which are sitting here for some of them even a couple of years, unfortunately, because we've been repairing all the customer vehicles and cars. So that's pretty much it, and that's what we've got new in the workshop, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.